Welcome to our first episode of 2024 of Power Alphas. I am one of your co-hosts, Sabby Piscitelli, and as always, I'm with my beautiful, beautiful fiance, Mandy Rose. How you doing, baby?
I'm doing great. Welcome, guys. Our first episode of 2024. Happy New Year. Hope everyone has, great first week.
Yeah.
I haven't had the best week, but that's okay.
Getting over
Just
a little sickness.
I'm
I feel
okay
like
now.
I feel like it's going around though. I know a handful of my friends, handful of your friends. I think your mother. Everyone's sick right now. I think it's maybe the holidays. This little flu.
This time of year.
Yeah,
a lot of people get sick right now, and that old COVID's back. So
I don't know what it is, but sometimes it's the weather change as well. When the weather temperature drops, people travel up north, go back from the heat, from the cold. People get sick, but yeah. But I'm excited. 2024. I'm excited for this year. What a big year. I mean, first off, we talked about it last time. We're getting married, 11/2/24.
Yeah, and have you seen, I've seen so many videos on Instagram, everyone keeps sending them, that 2024 is a leap year. And they say it's apparently a really good year to get married.
Really?
Yeah. So maybe we won't get a divorce.
Not funny. I'm only doing this once. Only once.
That's what they say.
But you know what's so ironic, and this is just crazy. I think it's the number 24 for me personally has always been a big part of my life, and it's actually crazy because I'm born on the 24th. My grandpa was born on the 24th. My grandpa passed away on the 24th. My college number was 24, and I was blessed to have a tremendous, tremendous college football career. Everything that I've encountered with 24 has been such a blessing. So I think it's just so ironic that I'm marrying the love of my life in 2024. And I think it's just going to be a tremendous year just because I love the number. And 24 has been very, very special in my life. And I've actually missing a couple things right now, but I know 24 has revolved around my family, my grandpa, and me. And it's been an extreme blessing when that number comes about. So I'm excited. That's why
and
I
11 as well, right?
And 11.
Obviously.
Well, 11, it's funny because 11 was my high school number in football. And then 24 was my college number. So I went from 11 to 24. Which is nuts. And I think
and the date's 11/2/24.
Exactly, 11/2/24. So
it's going to be a good day.
It's ironic how the numbers all add up in life, though, and how people always say, I have my lucky number, or I have my lucky color. And I think, I do believe in that. I really do. I think 24 has been such a tremendous number for me, and I think that's why I'm really excited for 2024. And I think even in this podcast today, I kind of want to talk about, we can dive in a little later right now, but, I believe, and we talked about this a little bit on the last podcast, like everybody looks at like the holidays and like the new year as like a reset button, right? A reset to new goals, a reset to eating cleaner, a reset to going to the gym. You see all these memes on the Instagram, like day one of January 1st of the new year, the gym is just absolutely crazy. And all these gym owners get rich for like a month, and then people just kind of obviously start weeding away. So I think today is a good podcast to talk about mental health and how mental health kind of goes through the holidays, and then people maybe look at a reset January 1st. But how do we stick to those goals? Because I know so many people set these goals. Oh, I'm going to start working out in 2024, the new year. I'm going to start eating cleaner. And they do it for about a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks maybe, and maybe a month. And all of a sudden, distractions come into play. So I think this podcast, we could definitely jump into that. But before we do jump into that, anything else you want to recap maybe from the holidays that you did a tremendous job? I got to tell everybody on this podcast, my beautiful fiance did a tremendous job hosting our first Christmas at our new house in New York. We had all her family up there. We had my parents and my brother up there, and it was, baby, did a tremendous job. Talk about that a little bit. How was it?
Yeah, I mean, it was a success, but it was a lot of work. And, thankfully with my dad's deli, we had the help of like getting some of the food prepped there. And then this way we kind of just had to heat a lot of things up, and everyone that came kind of brought their own dish, which was a big help. I think that was a huge plus, I will say. Like next time we do it, I feel like if people are willing to, like, it just, I don't know, it's such a big help. Like, everyone brought a dish.
I think there
You
has
know?
to be. I think person that hosts, when you host like 15, 20 people, I think that's just too much on the
Yeah.
household to cook for 20 people, all the dishes.
Yeah,
If someone
and you're
brings
in a
something,
house. It's
yeah.
not like a commercial kitchen, but no, but it was great. It was a lot of fun. It was nice to have both of our families together. You know, pretty much for the first time. I know my mom's been around your family, but have like my brothers and my dad. It was nice, and you know, obviously around the holidays, my family's business is insane. So I think everyone kind of couldn't wait to get the holidays over, which it kind of sucks that it's like that. But it's a great month. It's fun, but it's also like really stressful. So I know my dad kind of couldn't wait till New Year's was kind of
Well,
done with because of the deli, but you know, it's a blessing.
shout out to Arthur Avenue Deli in Mahopac because it is the best food I've ever tasted. And they are doing extremely well. They have such great clientele, loyal people. I mean, I was standing in there, you know, for a couple weeks, a couple months when I was open, and I just couldn't believe that the same people were coming in almost every day,
We have
every other day.
we have a lot of regulars, and you know, I know you guys watched the last episode. We fired Sabby. He's no longer working there because when you drop a box of rolls, that's it. You're done. But it was fun. You can stick to your security
I'm
job.
still security, okay? I'm a security and I'm an official taste
just know, the
tester. I
best
taste
was-
all the food, make sure it's good. You know what I'm saying?
The last couple days when we were there, we were really busy. Like, I mean, lunchtime is insane. Line out the door, it's a blessing. But Sabby feels like he, like, you know, what can I do? I can't slice cold cuts. I don't really know what to do. So he tries to help. And, like, I see him over there. He's, like, putting on gloves. I'm like, oh, God, what is he doing? And then I turn and he's like, no, I'm going to make my own sandwich today. You guys are really busy. I was like, okay, make your own sandwich. But did it turn out
It was
to be
good.
It was good?
I put a little too much meat, but
Yeah, see, that's why you got to weigh the
it was
meat.
okay. It was,
Gotta
see,
weigh the
I
meat.
don't know all those.
It should be about a quarter pound if
yeah,
it's on
see.
a roll.
But listen, that, you know, babe, again, shout out to you because I think it's a tremendous thing. You did a very good thing for your family. I know your dad's been in that business for almost 30 years, but what you gave your family was a new opportunity to open up a bigger deli in a lot better location with a lot more traffic. And I think, you know, I really admire that. I really admire people that come into some financial success and they turn to help their family, they turn to help their roots. And to see you working 12 hours a day, the cash register.
I know. Not everyone thinks I'm over there working, but guys,
Oh, she is.
I got home to Florida. We got home, Saturday?
Saturday night, yep.
And I've been sick, you know, a little bit, but I'm like, I don't know what to do with myself. I've been going to the deli. I've been working the lunch crowd. I'm like home now. I'm like,
She's bored.
I'm a little bored, not going to lie. But it's all good. I'm very busy. But
Shout out to Arthur
it is a
Avenue Deli.
blessing, and I'm grateful that I was able to help. But also, you know, they've been in business for over 30 years. They built a lot of equity. They, you know, what my brothers and my dad do, they create an experience for people to come in and not only grab amazing food, but they know them by their names. So that's why you see a lot of
Absolutely,
regulars,
very
and
personal.
I think that's very important. It's very personal. It's very authentic, and people love that. So I think that's what made our business what it is today.
And
So
you're spot on. And just a shout out to your brother Matt and your brother Gary. They are very, very good at that. I told you that. I was very impressed how Matt is so personable to everybody. So is Gary. They know everybody's names. They call you by your first name. And I think that's what it's about. It's very family oriented. And I think that's why people continue to come back. Not only is the food unreal, the service is great. And you guys do have an experience. And you turn over quick. You guys get people in and out. And
it's New York. We
it's
have
impressive.
to.
So that's good. So shout out to Arthur Avenue Deli, which is, if you're in Mahopac, if you're in Katona, if you're in Westchester County, I highly advise check it out. So, babe, let's talk about new year, new goals, mental health. I really do believe some people go through mental health struggle in the holidays, right? Some people don't have a significant other that they think in the holidays sometimes get a little heavier with whatever they're going through. I know we preach physical and mental health is kind of the pillar of keeping your sanity and keeping a balance. So let's talk about, I know we talked a little bit about your goals, but I want to ask you a question. What have you done when you start the new year? I know we're very active in our preparation, but what have you done to stay consistent? Because I do see a lot of people fall off when it comes to February, when it comes to March. Give some advice out there that you think that could really help these young people listening to this to stick with their New Year's resolutions, to stick with their new goals, and to kind of push through. Like, what was something that helps you?
I think you have to be really self-motivated. I think a lot of people, try to get motivation from others, which could be great. We're all motivators on social media, and I try to help motivate other people. But I think you have to wake up and you have to want to work out or want to do something for yourself that's healthy or good for you or something that makes you happy. So I think self-motivation is key. And I think just consistency for me, being accountable for something that I want to do. Let's say I want to wake up early and get a different workout in, or I want to start Pilates. Like I said, being accountable for your own actions and what you say you want to do and making sure you actually do it. And I think just being consistent and having that balance in life, because we all want to work hard, play hard, but I think there has to be a good balance. Especially for me, I'm very big into balance. I know if I have a great week training, I know I can relax on the weekend, have a couple drinks, enjoy dinner, enjoy food, good food, ice cream, all that stuff. But I just feel like staying consistent. And I feel like a lot of people fall off because it's a big trend you see on social media of new year, new me, or, I'm going to start working out, and it's great. But if you don't keep up with it throughout the year, I don't really see what the point is. Working out 1 month out of 12 isn't going to do anything for you. Just staying consistent throughout the year. And I think we always talk about physical and mental health coincide. And I think they're really, hand in hand. And I think also if you don't have, look good, feel good, I feel like. If we joke around, we got home from New York and we were a little pale, and we both need to get our,
we call it the uglies.
We both need to get our hair done, and
no, I get a haircut, not my hair done.
You get your hair done. You take longer than me sometimes. So.
Hair done.
So we both just felt like we had the uglies a little bit, but that's normal, and everyone gets that. And it's just to be able to feel good. I think for me, I want to look good. I want to look good for myself. It's not just for you. It's not just for my social media or my fans or whatever it may be. For myself, I feel better when I look better, and vice versa. So I don't know. I think consistency is key, and I think it is hard. I think people fall off, but I think keeping yourself accountable and being self-motivated, but discipline is where I think is the hard part.
Yeah,
you have to be disciplined.
I think you hit every aspect right there, and I think I do think the new year. I always hear this saying that I'm a big advocate on too. Is it's never too late to start, right? If you didn't start today, guess what? You can start tomorrow. And I think the new year is a good clean slate. And I think the word accountability is where people mess up, because if you want to do something, it's easy. Oh, I want to do something. Okay, cool. But it's the days you don't want to do something is where you have to do that. That's I've always lived by too, is even when I don't feel like doing something, especially when it comes to my mental or physical health, that's when I actually have to push myself and I make sure I do it. Today, I didn't want to get in the cold plunge. It was 55 degrees, 58 degrees when we woke up this morning. The cold plunge was 47 degrees. I had to talk myself into, nope. I already said to myself that I'm going in the cold plunge 5 days a week. So I'm not skipping a day. And that's where people kind of mess up the accountability of oh, well, today I don't feel like doing it. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do it tomorrow. But that's where it starts to spiral downhill. Slippery slope, right? Okay, now so I'm going to do it tomorrow. Tomorrow comes. I don't really feel too good today. I'm going to do it tomorrow. Then all of a sudden, you know what? I ain't going no more. And that's where I think people lose sight of the New Year's resolution, and they lose sight of the accountability. And I think that's where people need to really change their ways. Write it down. Write down your goals, write down things daily, challenge yourself. And like you said, I think you will be extremely happy on where you go mentally and physically when you really start with yourself. And mental health has, life is like a roller coaster too. Mental health has those moments where you got to remember, it will pass. You just have to work at it, right? So I don't know. I just think it's a good time to talk about this because I do know a lot of people on the first of the year likes to set these goals.
And those days where like you really don't feel like doing it, and I know for firsthand, like I really don't feel like getting this workout in, but then like you push yourself. Like there's times where I'm sitting in the car before I go into the gym and I'm on my phone and I'm just like dragging and I'm just like, but then when you push yourself and you get through it, like sometimes those are the best workouts and you feel so good from it. Like the benefits you reap off of that is way better than like anything, I feel like, because there's been multiple times where like we all have days where we don't want to get up and work out. We're not like, we're human, you know? And I feel like people do get in that moment of like, oh, I'm not going to go today. And then the next day, I'm not going to go because I didn't go yesterday, whatever. I'll just start again next week. It's like, that's a bad habit to, get into.
And I actually think if you get out of the rhythm of training,
it's bad.
It's the hardest to get back into the rhythm, right? Like if you, like I told this in the last podcast, I actually took 10 days off the gym. I think so did you. I took 10 days off of lifting weights. I hated every single day of not working out and not lifting a weight and not training. But I knew that that's the best thing for my body physically. I knew I needed to give my joints a rest. I knew that I needed to give my body a recovery because I feel like it would also re-motivate me. It would re-amp me to get in the weight room January 1st and just kind of even hit it harder. And I know, some people out there, I see these people out there and they talk about, oh, no days off, no days off. Oh, 3-6. No, that's not true. That is not true. And it's a freaking lie. And it gets me pissed off when I hear these people talk about their routines.
You need to recover.
And I don't like that because it's false information. And I think even for you and me, I think what's helped me continue to stay in such good shape is because I have a routine and I take my days off and I take the days to recover and I take the days to almost let my body get hungry again to get into the gym. So people, don't get misconstrued. You see these guys on the internet that talk about their morning routines. They talk about what time they wake up. They go to bed at 12 and they wake up at 1 and they say they work out for 17 hours. It aggravates me because that is not reality. The reality is to have that balance. The reality is to have that routine. The reality is to give your body the correct recovery because if you're not,
because you can overtrain and overtraining is really bad too.
100%. So that to me is something that is a valid point in that aspect of it. But
moral of the story too, you just can't believe everything you see on the internet. I mean, there's a million things we see on the internet that's like you're just like what people preach.
Dude, I'm not even gonna call him out right now, but there's a guy that's kind of is like an entrepreneurish kind of guy talking about his morning routine, and he said something the other day. He goes, "I wake up at 4." Okay, and he said he wake up at 4 a.m. and he said he gets out of bed within 2 seconds, which I don't know how you do that, dude. I mean, that's like literally. He said, "I got 2 seconds jump out of bed." I said, "I don't know how you do that." Then he says he almost contradicts himself so bad. He sounds like an idiot. He says he goes to the gym and goes on the treadmill but does meditation. How are you doing on the treadmill but doing meditation, right? Then he'll say, "I listen to a book on double speed." How you listen to a book on double speed, dude?
What? Who are you watching?
Like, no, but this guy is like getting a lot of views and people like believe in him. And
you
listen,
can't watch
he's a very wealthy man in real estate, but he's trying to talk about fitness, and he's not even like in my eyes like doesn't look big, doesn't look jacked. But then he says, here's the best part. Oh, I lift heavy weight for 2 hours. No, brother, listen. I'm gonna tell you right now, everyone listening out there. If you lift weights for 2 hours, you're doing something wrong. Okay? You can't lift weights for 2 hours.
No, that's very bad.
You could ask the best bodybuilders in the world. They are not in the gym going hard lifting weights for 2 hours. So these guys are these guys are trying to get like clicks and they're trying to, and then he said his whole morning routine was like 6 hours long. Brother, your morning routine is not 6 hours long. I'm sorry to tell you that.
Maybe you should stop following this person.
No. I just get all worked up sometimes. People on the internet talking about this stuff, and I'm like, I don't know, man.
Yeah,
some people gotta call these people out, have some credibility, man. Because the people that say they go to bed at like 12 o'clock and wake up at like 3 o'clock and get 3 hours of sleep, that's not even functionable, bro. That's not even healthy.
Sleep is so important.
That's not healthy. Like that is not healthy.
If I don't get my 8 hours,
yeah. Dude,
I need my 8 hours.
That's another thing that bothers me too. Like, These people, like, they tell me I'm in such amazing shape, and I wake up at 3:45 and I go to bed at 12. No, you don't. You do not, because you're not getting correct recovery. So stop telling the world that they need to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, okay? First of all, better for them to get their 8 hours of sleep, get their 8 hours of recovery, and then go to the gym. And then, you want to wake up at 5 and 6, that's fine. Do that. But make sure you get, if you wake up at 5, you better be in bed by 10 o'clock.
Yeah, but people think also on social media you can sit there and like brag about things that you do, and like whether it's right or wrong, they just think like, oh well, I do that and it's the best thing. It's like, just you gotta tune them out. You can't listen to everyone.
I don't know. Listen, you gotta have some sort of credibility when you talk on the internet too. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and talk about things that I have never accomplished anything in. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Some people are talking about fitness and training and being in this incredible shape. Like, bro, stay to your lane. These guys gotta start staying in their lanes. Like, you're an entrepreneur, you're successful in real estate. I would love to hear your podcast about real estate. I would love to. Teach me how to grow my portfolio. Mm-hmm. But don't teach me your 6-hour routine in the morning and you meditate while you're on the treadmill and you listen to a book on super speed and you lift weights for 2.5 hours, because that's not reality.
No.
So that's just, I don't know. I'm just getting all worked up on some of these people.
Damn.
Sorry, Ben. Put me back in check, man. Put me in check.
Focus. No.
Yeah, I know. Focus. So.
Okay. So what? So you answered obviously that question that you asked me about staying consistent,
Mm-hmm.
and you kind of agree with the being accountable. I like how you said that, like, write things down. What are some other tips you can give people, because I know you like to do those type of things, that could help someone that kind of loses it after a couple weeks or whatever, like writing your goals down, or like specific tips that you can give people that could help?
I think what the biggest thing for me is when you create a routine, and whatever your weekdays fall on for your routine, like for me, like a Sunday for me is a really good day to gather all my notes, to gather all my goals for the week. I take Sunday as like, make sure everything is organized. My laundry's done. My business things are all set up for the week. I write down my goals for the week. It's kind of like my organizational day. Mm-hmm. And I think that's important. Everybody should have that organizational day, meaning where that's kind of like the week ends and then the next day starts your new week. And I think that's important because you can sit there on that Sunday or whatever day it is. It might be your Saturday. It might be a Monday. I don't know how people structure their week. Some people have to work, so they work out on Sundays. Mm-hmm. But for me, the biggest thing is to really write your goals down for the week. Write down what you want to accomplish for the week. Even if it's writing down your workouts that that you're going to do that week. Mm-hmm. Write it down. Write down the things you want to stay consistent with. And I think that organizational part of it, it keeps in your head the structure of being very routine and very consistent on your routine. And you feel very organized going into the week. Because I don't know how you feel, but like if my days, obviously when I played in the NFL, Sundays was like my work day. But now Sundays is like my reset day. Mm-hmm. It's my day with you. We go to church. We cook together. We spend the whole day. We spend most of the weekend together. But I'm saying Sunday's like a relaxation day with me and you. But it's also a day for me to make sure everything is organized.
Yeah,
everything's
and in
in
check
place.
for the week.
Yeah, everything's in place. Because you don't want to wake up that Monday morning and be like, oh man, my workout outfit I wanted to wear is dirty. I didn't wash it. Mm-hmm. Then your whole day feels discombobulated, right? And those are the little things that I like to preach about that I think is important. That's helped me succeed on football, on wrestling, and in life, and even in business. Is like, focus on the little details that keeps your organizational clean.
Yeah,
right?
and you know what I like to do, I'm going to say this for other people out there, that we're always on our phones, right? I'm always on my phone. I'm always working, doing everything on my phone. I put a lot in my calendar, or I put a lot in my notes. So like Sabby tends to like write his down in the office, but like lately I noticed if I just put everything in my calendar, even if it's like really like little small things like appointments or small things, I'm so much more organized, because I just think everyone is so overstimulated with these phones and this world we live in that it's like hard to keep up with everything. So I think like writing stuff in your notepad is always good. I like doing that. Your calendar, staying structured, organized. I mean, we kind of always joke around, but like sometimes we know certain people that like they're all over the place, but their life is unorganized. So like, if you're like you see, I think you said last time, like if your closet is a mess, like your life is probably a mess half the time because you're just unorganized. Listen, some people can like work under like crazy circumstances and
Crazy
like messy,
conditions, yep.
crazy conditions, like messy rooms. Like I can't. I'm
No,
not.
I cannot either.
I can't do that.
Nope.
I mean, sometimes here and there you gotta clean up and do a little spring cleaning and all that. But that's a little advice I would say too, because we are always on our phones, and then it's so much more organized. You know everything's there. You bring this thing everywhere you go, so it's like you're always gonna have it. So that would be my advice as well.
Yeah, that's a great point. Your phones is a key component to being successful. You said use it. Use it. You're on the phone so much with social media, checking your emails, checking your bank accounts, whatever you're on. Use it for good. Use it for your notes. Be detailed. I love that idea. I really do. I think that's a great point for you. One other thing that I think is exciting about a new year is new opportunities, right? New opportunities. And the power of being positive in new opportunities, right? So for me, I think a big thing has always been the mind of what I want to accomplish that year. And I know obviously you don't accomplish everything you want to accomplish, but I think starting the new year for your mental aspect is let everything go in the year prior. Like let anything that's bothering you, let anything that's negative, the bad energy, a breakup, you're not happy with your job. I actually, we've talked about this a lot. I think the power of of gratitude every morning you wake up will change your perspective on life. So, Mandy, give a little advice out there that's really changed you, because I know you've been through a lot of highs, a lot of lows. What is your components, that your mental aspect of now, new year, I'm letting go? How do you approach that? Is it gratitude, prayer, meditation? I think people need to hear how Mandy Rose gets that accomplished in this clean slate.
Mandy Sacks.
Mandy Sacks, I'm sorry,
Mandy
I
Rose is
apologize.
dead. No, I'm kidding.
You're right, Mandy Rose is gone. Sorry.
No, she's
Mandy
still there.
Sacks.
She's still there. That's a great question. I personally like to compartmentalize a lot of things, whether it's good or bad. I like, let's say, 2023, I think it's really good to reflect on the positive and the negative, because you want to always do better. You always want to focus on both, because you want to focus on the things you want to change. Let's say there's some things you didn't do, you didn't do in the last year that you want to do better in the next year. So I feel like focusing on both is okay. Harping and like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like harping on the negative in 2023, let's say, it could be very detrimental. I don't agree with like harping on things that you could have, should have, done, but you didn't, or some things that you resent, or let's say a tragedy or whatever it may be. Like, you always remember the good, but I think harping on the negative is very bad. And I think that is a good point with starting in, 2024, a new year. You can reflect on everything that you've been through, but also reset, focus on the present and the future, and not focus on the past. So for me personally, I like to compartmentalize things. I like to put certain things that I've been through in different areas. Some things I like to completely forget. Some things, some things I like to always hold near and dear, true to my heart, that I'm, really passionate about. And I like to always focus on the positive. But I think it's a good thing to like compartmentalize things and like put them in different places where they're always there, but you're not harping on them. You're not focusing on that, or, focusing on the negative. I think that's part of, what I like to do.
You really do a great job of compartmentalizing things. I do admire that about you. You've always done a good job about that. And I think that's important, because I think the power of being positive and not reflecting in the past is what's going to dictate your future. And I think you do a really good job. That's a great answer. And I think people really need to hear that.
I know you meditate and you do breathing exercises.
I do.
And I do want to, I'm not hating on that. I think that's great. I do want to try that. I one time did, but you like shut me down when I was sitting there next to you because you're like, you're not doing it right. I'm like, What do you
No, I
mean
did
I'm not
not
doing
shut
it
it
right?
down.
You did.
There's
I
not
was
really.
like,
There's no way.
I was breathing.
I've heard so many different methods of breathing, so I don't know if it's a right or wrong. So I apologize if I did do that. But no, it
we were
actually.
in the hot tub.
To be honest with you, I do like the breath work. I even do my breath work when I go in the cold plunge because I think that really helps. First of all, my body just kind of relax that I'm sitting in 40-degree weather or water in 40-degree weather sometimes. So it's kind of helps me when you focus on your breathing. Your mind goes away from the pain that you're in, the cold, right? So it's good to really kind of control your mind. And the breathing aspect of controlling your breathing is the first step of controlling to where your mind goes. So yeah, that's actually really helped me, and I'm want to get better at that and more routine in 2024 for sure about that. So to sum all that up, listen, new year, new slate, new goals, get after it, be consistent, keep yourself accountable. And if you do slip up, you can restart tomorrow. It's never too late. And I think that's the message kind of this podcast that we're going so far is just get after this year. Don't let the baggage from 2023, don't let the negativity, don't let the things that didn't work in 2023 carry over 2024. Get after it again. There's no shame in failing, but at least there's shame in not trying. So I think there's something that I do like this new year, and I hope everyone listening to this likes that new kind of fresh start. So that's kind of the sum up of what we talked about so far. Maybe I want to dive in before this podcast ends. There's a couple things going on in the media world. What have you seen that you've drawn to you that you've seen in the last couple of days that's kind of drawn your interest?
Well, you know me, I like all that. Like I saw a really good movie last night.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
so glad that you weren't with me.
Please don't tell me.
I'm not talking about that movie, but the movie was really good. It was really weird. What did I tell you? Saltburn on Prime. Really weird. Have you seen it, Ben? Yeah.
Oh, Ben's
See?
shaking his head.
Yeah. Really weird, but good. But let's talk about the Epstein
Oh,
list.
goodness. I heard the Epstein list just came out.
Just came out. I can't wait to watch. I got to watch. Well, I watched. What did I watch? I watched the documentary.
Yeah, we watched the
right?
documentary a while ago. Yep, we did.
Yeah, so the list came out. I know a few on there. What was it?
Some big names: Michael Jackson,
Bill Clinton.
Trump.
Yep. There was, I think, a woman. I forget the woman's name. But anyway, he's such a freaking creep. It's disgusting.
That's so sad.
It's like so sad
really
that
is
there's people in this
disgusting.
world that actually even did what he did. So regardless of what the other people did, you know, they could have went to the house and who knows what they did. But I mean,
But just to have
apparently
your
Bill Clinton went like 58 times.
58 times or something
to
like that,
the
52
island.
times. The sad part about it is like you're right. You don't want to sit here and throw judgment right away.
Mm-hmm.
But if your name is affiliated with that case,
Bad.
it's bad. I mean, you don't know if you went once or 60 times like Bill
Don't
Clinton did. It
matter.
doesn't matter.
Yeah,
And I think that's a very
so
tragic
bad.
and sad situation. So, gosh, I don't want to touch on something like that because we could dive deep into that. But that is
He's a
that's
freaking
kind of
creep.
disgusting. It's a creep.
What I
and
do want
it's a
to
shame.
see, I don't know if you're going to be willing to watch, but the Gypsy Blanchard, did I say that
what?
right, Ben? The Gypsy Blanchard. I forgot what the last name. Gypsy for sure.
It's a movie?
She got out of prison. The one that she killed her. She had her boyfriend kill her mother way back. Well, I don't know how many years it's been. She was in prison, but she got out. So the Lifetime comes out tomorrow, I think, Friday. And it's crazy, but she got out. But apparently the story is the mother like claimed that she had all these crazy illnesses and she didn't have anything. And she like had her get these surgeries. She like really like tortured her, the child. And as she got older, she like, it's really wild. I don't know everything, so I don't want to like keep talking about it. But I really want to watch
The
that.
documentary?
The Lifetime is a documentary.
Yeah, and it's called the mother had a mental disorder called Munchausen syndrome.
Yeah.
So
Munchausen syndrome.
yeah, basically she was kind of this girl didn't have anything wrong with her at all.
She was
and
claiming that she was like really disabled and all
Wow.
these things.
she got to make a wish. She got all literally went to
All these things.
Yeah.
It went to the extreme.
It's coming out this week?
Excuse me. She just got out of prison.
just got out.
How long was she in prison for?
What does it say? Was it 9 years or something?
Yeah, I think it was 2015 was when she went to prison.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
So she just got out, and they have the whole docuseries coming out. And I think there's another one on Hulu too, but I really want to watch that because it's really crazy. just to hear her side of the story, you know, because she just got out of prison.
Those things definitely grab my attention.
Yeah, they're very intriguing.
That's something that'd be very intriguing. I like that.
Usually you like your like action movies and stuff, and I like all like the weird shit, but we're a little bit different on the spectrum when it comes to movies.
Yeah, Mandy's version of watching a movie is this right here.
No, last night you should have seen me. I was focused without you, me and Penny. I was focused on that 2-hour movie. That was good. It was weird, but it was good.
I like it. I like it, babe. I like this first podcast of the year. I'm excited. I know we have a lot of guests coming up, a lot of really good guests coming up. So I think
we're going to really focus on getting some great guests on here.
Absolutely.
I know we took a couple weeks off here and there with the holidays. It was a little tough. We're back in Florida. We were in New York for a while. So we're going to be very consistent on here for you guys. Make sure you subscribe and like our YouTube. We're also on Apple Podcasts and Spotify Music. And as well, please comment in the section of the comments what you want to hear, maybe who you want to see on the podcast or any of that, because that all helps. Any questions we can answer on the podcast as well.
Yeah, and if there's stories that you're going through or there's something you're going through in life that you maybe want us to relate and talk about, if we've been through, anybody else been through, because a lot of guests we're going to bring on in the upcoming future, we want to hear trials and tragedy. We want to hear their stories. We want to hear everything. So if you have something that, see if there's other people dealing with it out there, put up in the comments. We'll talk about it.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
Absolutely. So
thank you guys. Happy New Year. And here's to 2024.